Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the transfer portal and what to do if you get several calls or several offers from programs. So I've been on both sides of this. I've helped players who have gotten several offers while they've been in the transfer portal and helped them decipher through which school and which program is going to be the best fit for them. And then I've had players where we've had to dig, scratch, crawl, like whatever it takes to in order to get them a spot. So I've seen both sides of it. And for this video, we're going to talk about if you're someone who ends up getting several calls or several offers, how do you decide which is going to be the best program for you? Because it's different for each guy, and it part of it depends on what you value. So I'll give you an example. For some people, they want to play in the major leagues, and so that's their ultimate goal. For others, it's, hey, I want to try to win a College World Series right now, this upcoming year. Others may be, I want to get as much money as I possibly can in the NIL, so on and so forth. But it's important to know what your end goal is, like what you really want out of it, because once you know that helps shrink everything down a little bit. Say, for example, like you want to be a big league pitcher, and that's what you're obsessed about. That's all you care about more than anything else. Well, maybe it may be in your best interest to not necessarily take the most amount of NIL money, but to go to a program that has an incredible pitching coach who has a track record of getting pitchers to drafted at high drafted and then end up playing professionally in the major leagues. Same thing on the hitting side. So don't necessarily just look short term, look long term too. Like what do you want out of this? And for some, it may just be, they have my degree. I want to get a certain type of MBA or whatever it is, and that's why you end up going to a specific college. So when you're on the phone talking with different coaches, there's some coaches who are going to be straightforward and honest with you about where they see you fit, which is of course what you want. And then there's other coaches where they'll sell you the moon. They're going to tell you anything and everything in order to get you down there. And obviously, that's not necessarily a place that you want to go to, because if they're not being honest about that, then what else aren't they being honest about? So I would do some homework on your part, and I would say that look at over the last couple years, how many players are coming in and leaving the program on a yearly basis? I mean, do they have 10, 15 transfers leaving the program every year? Because even if they do, that may not be a program where, man, like the players really enjoy playing for the coaches there, really like the culture of the program there, if players are constantly leaving. And I know it's going to be a little bit different depending on what type of program we're talking about, but mainly I'm speaking more so towards the high-end Power 5 programs for this video. And so that's something important to know right there is, do they have players leaving? And then also, if you're thinking about maybe going to this particular school, are they bringing in other transfers at your position too, or are you going to be the guy? Because the last thing you want to do is you go into the transfer portal, you get different calls from schools, and then you finally pick one. You get there, and maybe you don't have the best fall, like a couple weeks, not feeling well. Maybe you tweak something, and before you know it, like you're not even starting. You're not even the main guy once the spring rolls around. And I can tell you in baseball, man, things can change quickly. They can change very quickly. Like 1 minute you're top dog and you don't produce, they'll find a replacement for you, because at the highest level of the game, coaches are hired and fired based on wins and losses. Like, it is about winning. I don't care what anybody says. And so maybe you want that. Maybe you want to be a part of that, then by all means. But it's important to understand what you want at the end, right? Your end goal. And then once you understand what that is, then you can reverse engineer from there and really figure out how to go about that. And then when you're talking with coaches on the phone, do you have a good feeling? Like, is there trust that's built between you and the coach? Is it genuine? Or is it something that feels like very salesy and they're just saying whatever it's going to take to get you down there? So that's something that you're going to have to trust your gut on, I would say. When I work with players in the transfer portal, like that's obviously something that we talk about, and I know a lot of the different coaches out there, and so talking with them, I know what their program's about with certain coaches and what they value, and who those coaches are that you can really trust when they tell you something, and so like that's obviously very important too. But at the end of the day, like if you are lucky enough to get several calls from coaches, like it's awesome. You should be very grateful for that. But B, the next thing is hey, at that point in time, like you need to know what you're looking for, because if you get 8, 10, 15 calls, then and you don't really know what you're specifically looking for in a program or what your end goal is, then your mind's just going to go everywhere, and you may just go to have the shiny object syndrome, and just where whoever has the best facilities, that's just where you're going, not necessarily what's going to be in your best interest long term. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope that helped. Like I said, I do help players who are in the transfer portal and figuring out where they should go, and helping them, guide them through that process. So if you do need help, feel free to reach out. Email is jonesbaseballtraining@gmail.com. And if I can help any way, please reach out.